Hello and welcome. I've had some cards that I pulled out from different boxes and part of the collection, and I figured it would be fun to take a look at some of the prep I do, before grading. I am definitely still learning some of these things, so I figured we'll kind of go through it together and just kind of show you what I do. If it helps you, cool. If not, keep on rolling. And with that, let's begin. So here we've got two cards. We have a Wayne Gretzky card. It's an OPG 1992. And we have a Mario Lemieux, also OPG 1992 hockey. And they look pretty good. So the first thing I want to do is I'll typically look at, the corners and just do a quick rough look. They look pretty good. Centering looks pretty good. Coloring looks good. There's a little bit of a paper. Let's see if we can get this out. You can see a little bit of kind of papered fragment in there. So we could take this out of the sleeve, brush that off, and then kind of look a little more closely at it. But overall it looks good. So that means I'm going to proceed further. If it didn't, if centering was way off, corners were ruined, edges were rough, we would pass on that. So that's step number one. Let's do the same thing for the Lemieux card, and then we'll go a little bit deeper into each. So again, centering is okay on this. It's not perfect, but it might be okay. We've got the corners are very sharp. Edges look pretty good. Same thing on the back. Nothing too wild there. So again, it passes the highest level checks. Are those all of them? Certainly not. Next thing we're going to do is take a look at centering. So pop this down here, and we have our centering tool. So this is available online and such, and basically we're just going to put it down over the card and kind of line it up. It looks like we've got on the right side, it looks like we have around 2 running through the middle, or 3 is right on the line. It's just about 3. So right to left centering is really looking really good. Now let's look top to bottom. And here we're looking around. Let's see. Around. Interesting. So it looks like there's way more room on the top. But let me see if I am aligning this properly. Looks like a 3 and a 5 almost, which would be around a 63-37, which is a little bit too much up, down. What I'm wondering is if that's part of the layout. Maybe not. So it's probably a little bit off center top to bottom, but if I had multiples we could look more closely, but even this, I think in a 9 is going to do okay. So that passes that. Rear centering, it's pretty good. Doesn't have to be as precise on the back, so we are good there. Next up, we have Mario Lemieux. Let's check on the centering here. And you may have 1,000 tips as to how to do this better or differently, so by all means share them. I'm definitely learning in part as I do this, so it's not the be all end all. All right. So it appears as if we are around a 3, 4 left to right. let's say. Yeah, it's actually almost a 3-3, which is pretty nice. And then top to bottom, it almost looks like a 4-2. So that could just be the way this particular series of cards, maybe like a 4-3. Looks like a 4-3. So not great, but maybe it's how these cards are laid out. I don't know. It's probably a little off, so maybe we'll go into 9 territory. The back looks good, and I think we'll be okay with a 9 there as well. So now let's check out a little more close up with the corners. So we'll pop open our zoom here. And it's still in the sleeve, but corners are looking good. Got a little bit. Let's see if we could focus a little more precisely. All right, there we go. Not terrible. Nice and sharp there, and nice and sharp there. So you can even start to see the printing resolution when we're up close. So overall, I think this one's looking pretty good. Next thing I look for are just any kind of dust and such. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this out, and we're going to bring it up here, and we're going to give it a nice gentle swab with our microfiber cloth, just to get any dust in there that doesn't need to be there. Again, we're not putting a lot of pressure. We don't want the dust to grind into the card's surface, but we just want to make sure there's nothing loose that's on there that would impact the grading process. All right, now that we have that, the next thing that we will do is we will get our tool here, and we will put the card. Well, first we're going to wipe our tool down. We use this to put the card into the sleeve and then into the holder. What we don't want to do is I'm wiping this off. I'm not wiping it off over the other card. That way the dust doesn't get down onto the card. And then we'll just take this, line it up, and right into our sleeve. And just very gently take these out. And there, corners are protected and card is in the sleeve. And then the next thing we'll do, put it into the semi-rigid. So once again, we will put this in between our tool here, and it makes it really easy because you just open the rigid and slide the card right in. You don't have to, here I'll back up a little bit so you can see. And then it just slides right in. You don't have to worry about pushing it down or a lot of pressure on the card. And then you can just slide this bottom part out. Then if you want, you can come in here and you can gently push the card down and in, and then just very easily slide this top part out. And there's your card. No fuss, no muss, no worries. So there we go. And I see a spot on here though. I'm going to check this out. See exactly what's going on here. So there's a little spot right above the U. And I don't think that was there earlier. Let's just double check. Nope. So somehow we got a little dust in there. All right, let's use our tool one more time. Obviously, we don't want any dust on our submission, lest it be graded with the dust. All right, much better. There we go. And I do wonder, I mean, I doubt they work in dust-free rooms. I mean, it's possible they do. There'll be a lot of infrastructure. But, I mean, if they do have dust in the rooms, it's very possible that, dust gets on submissions and so on and so forth. So I don't know how that would all work, but nonetheless, here we are. We have our card in there, and then right out, and there we go. So the Lemieux is now ready. And let's take a look next at our Wayne Gretzky card and see what's going on there. We had that little bit of dust in the back. Card dust. So let's take a look at the corners first and see what we've got going on here. All right, corners are decent, especially for the year. Edges are okay. A little roughness up here, but that may be acceptable given the year of the card. So let's take it out here, and we'll give it a gentle wipe with the cloth. Actually, let's first get this little piece of dust off here. So what I'll typically do for that is just very gently push down and away with my finger. There we go. And the idea of pushing down is that I believe a lot of these cards from this era have the clay in them. And that's why the edges kind of fray so easily, because the clay helps the ink have a much more vivid appearance. And so paper stock gets a slight clay additive to it, and then the ink goes on, and so on from there. All right. Let's wipe this down and wipe that down. All right. And into our sleeve. Looking pretty good. Front and back. So next up, we will once again get our tool, put our card in our tool, and then just slide it right into our holder. Back comes out, front comes out, and there is the card. Perfect. All right. So with that, we now have 2 cards ready for the next step in grading, and there's enough great videos out there on that. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of what I do in terms of looking at things more closely and kind of getting them set to go. So I hope you learned something. Hope you had a little fun checking it out, as I did too, for sure. And there you have it. Until next time.